Hi everyone, in this video I will show you how to divide decimals. But before that, you need to know certain things. The first one, you have to know the names after the decimal points. So the tenth place, the hundredth place, and the thousandth place. Why you need to know them? Because sometimes you will be asked for an answer, for example, to the nearest thousand. If the if the answer, for example, it will be many numbers here, many, so they will tell you to stop by the nearest thousand, which, for example, in here, nearest thousands, 1, 2, 3, that's the nearest, so you have to stop here. You don't have to go. Sometimes he will ask you the 10,000, sometimes he will ask you 100, it depends. Also, you need to know how to multiply by 10, 100, and 1000. And this one, all you have to do, when you multiply by 10, you move the decimal place one place. Okay? Because we are counting how many zeros. So here you have 1 0. I'm going to move this to here. This is an example. So I'm going to move this to here. When you multiply by 100, 2 zeros here, then I'm going to move decimal point 2 places. So the decimal point will be in here. When you multiply by 1000, same thing. So 3 zeros. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to put decimal point in here, etc. Also, you have to know this, the dividend and the divisor. So when you put them in the correct place, so you can get the correct answer. Also, sometimes why you have to know all these components of the log division. This is what we call log division, like this one here. Sometimes they will ask you, instead solve this problem, they will tell you what is the remainder for this problem in here, and they will give you choices. So you have to go all the way to the end, and you have to put this, for example. That's why it's very important to know these components. Now, let's start. There is 4 cases. If you know how to do these 4 cases, that's it. That's all you need to know to do division on the symbols. That's it. So I'm going to do 2 cases on the part 1. Then I'm going to do the other 2 cases on the second part. So when you get something like this, first thing I'm going to put it in the right place. So the dividend is going to be inside. Then the divisor is going to be outside. Now, the first case, it's going to be the whole number divided by this symbol. So here, this divisor, it needs to be a whole number. So in order for me to switch this to a whole number, I'm going to multiply by 10. Why? Because there is one number after the decimal point. So I'm going to multiply by 10. If there is 2, I'm going to multiply by 100, etc. So when you multiply, you're going to multiply this one by 10, will give you 180. But don't write 180 like this. Always write 180 with a decimal point and a 0 after. I will tell you why in here. Then 16, 1.6 times 10. I'm just going to move this to the right. And it will be 16. Then right away, I'm going to put my decimal point on top. I'm going to line up the decimal point for the answer, for quotient, and the actual number. Exactly like here. You see it? Why? Because when you multiply any number, two numbers, when you divide 2 numbers, one of them has decimal point, of course you're going to get the decimal point in here. So you must line it up from the beginning. Now I will explain to you this long division. First, I'm going to put my components. So the dividend is 180. 0.0. Then my divisor is 16. Let me bring this one here for some space. Then I am gonna line up my decimal points. See this one here with this. They have to be lined up. Now I will ask this question. Does 16 goes into 18? Why did I choose 18? How come I didn't choose the whole 18? I mean 180. The reason why, because 16 is smaller than 18. If this number is bigger than 18, then I would choose the third number. So that 16 goes into 18. Yes. How many times? 1. So I'm gonna put 1 here. So 1. Now I'm gonna do multiplication. 1 times 16 is 16. I will put it in here. Then I'm gonna do subtraction. So 8 minus 6 is 2. 1 minus 1 is 0. Next, I will bring this 0 down. So I'm going to put 0 in here. Same thing again. Does 16 goes into 20? Yes. How many times? 1. 1 times 16 is 16. So subtraction. So 20 minus 16, this will give me 4. Remember, it's the same step. Same thing I did in here. I will do it in here and they will keep going. Now 4 is smaller than this. That tells me that I am doing the right thing. Now, because 4 is small, because if you get something bigger than 16, that means you did something wrong. That's the first indicator that your calculations are wrong. When you get a number in here that is bigger than the divisor, that means you're doing something wrong. So 4 is smaller than 16. The next step is to bring this 0 down. Why? To make this bigger. So here what I'm doing, I'm borrowing. So now I have 40. So does 16 goes into 40? Yes. How many times? 2. So I'm going to put 2 in here right now. Why did I put 2 in here? How come I didn't put it in here? The reason, because I am done with the numbers before the decimal point. I am done with them. Once, because the 0 I dropped in here, this is from the whole number. Now this 0 I dropped here, that's from the numbers after the decimal point. That's why I'm gonna write this after the decimal point. So 2. So same thing, 2 times 16 is 32. I'm gonna put 32 in here. Then I'm gonna do subtraction again. So 40 minus 32, that will give me 8. 8 is bigger than, is smaller than 16, which is good. But guess what? I cannot stop in here. I need to get 0 at the end. Then I will borrow again. Borrow another 0. Then bring it down to make this number 80. And 80 is bigger than 16. This is the goal. When you borrow 0 from here, you bring it down for the purpose of this number will be bigger than this. So try to understand. Don't just memorize it. Try to understand it. Same thing again. Now I have 80. 80 is bigger than 60, so I'm good. So same question again. Does 16 goes into 80? Yes. How many times? 5. I'm going to put 5 in here. 5. So 5 times 16 is 80. I'm going to do subtraction. So 80 minus 80, the answer is 0. Now I will stop. Okay, now I will stop. Just remember one thing in here. The numbers I put before the decimal point, because I'm working on the numbers before the decimal point. The numbers I put after the decimal point, that's the one I borrow. Remember, I borrow zeros in here and the one I drop down. This 0, I didn't borrow it when I dropped it. This one from the whole number. The next one, I have the case number 2, 35.1 divided by 5. Now I have a whole number, I have a decimal divided by a whole number. Same thing again, because I have one number after a decimal point in here. So I'm going to multiply by 10. But don't forget to multiply this one by 10 as well. So 35.1, when I multiply it by 10, it will give me 351. Same thing again, at point and 0. Then I'm going to line up my decimal point. And here, 5 times 10 will give me 50. Now, I will do the same thing I did before on here. Then I will explain it in this side. Again, so 351.0 divide by 50. So here, does 50 goes into 35? No. If I choose 2 numbers. Now, here I'm going to choose 3 numbers. Why? Because 50 is bigger than 35. Now 50 is smaller than 351, and then I'm going to line up my decimals first. Remember that. Now 351, so how does 50 goes into 351? Yes. How many times? 7. 7 times 50, it will give me 350. Same thing we did before, subtraction. 351 minus 350, 1. See, right now, I am done with the numbers on the left side of the decimal. So here I am done, this part in here. Now, I will bring down the 0. See, I will bring down the 0. And then we'll add it in here. Then I will start working off the numbers after a decimal point. But be careful about this step in here. So after I brought down the 0, or after I borrowed the 0, I have 10. But guess what? 10 is still smaller than 50. So in this case, what should I do? Pay attention. It's a very important step. So here I will put an automatic 0 in here. Okay? Automatic 0. Why? Because technically you cannot, you take a small number and you're going to say, does 50 goes into 10? No, it doesn't. So I will put 0 in here. Let me do it in the red color so you guys can remember it, or the blue. So 0. Then I will perform the regular steps of log division. 0 times 50 is what? Is 0. So I'm going to put 0 in here. I'm going to put 0. Then subtraction. 10 minus 0 is 10. Now I am going to borrow another 0 from here. Because I'm not done. I need to get 0 here. As a reminder, I need to get 0. So, because of that, I am going to bring down this 0 here. Now, I have 100, and 100 is bigger than 50. Now I'm in the right track. I'm good. So, does 50 goes into 100? Yes. How many times? 2. I'm going to put 2 in here. 2 times 50 is 50. 2 times 50 is 100. 100 minus 100, it will give me 0. Now I will stop. because I got the 0 at the end. And this is the answer. And this is the way how you work these long division problems, whether they have a decimal point on the dividend or on the divisor. Just remember one thing: divisor always has to be a whole number. You need to get rid of the decimal in here. But at the same time, try when you multiply so you can get rid of the decimal from both sides. And I will see you guys on the next video on part 2 for case number 3 and case number 4.